particular country.
How are they
We
propagating this?
If I may, through social media. And what we do through U.S. Customs and Border Protection is actually communicate via social media and other channels that is false, that we do apply Title 42.
So let's say there's Russian disinformation as well. Are you going to take to social media and broadcast that people are broadcasting something incorrect about what do you think is Russian disinformation?
Senator, let me emphasize.
Well, you said the other day Russians, and now you're saying not so much the Russians, you're saying the cartels.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, Senator. You're mischaracterizing my statement.
Then what are you going to do if there's Russian disinformation? You're going to broadcast something on social media?
Allow me to share when we become involved in the Department of Homeland Security. We become involved when disinformation poses a threat to the security of our country. It is when there's a connectivity to a threat to our...
Wait, because, what he's saying.
To our country. It could be a...
So you're saying that you don't care about the people. You only care about the land. It doesn't matter that disinformation affects the American people. That doesn't matter to the Department of Justice. And their whole job is to protect the American people. You see, disinformation is what they thrive on. Telling lies. Listen to him. This is so disgusting to listen to him try to lie over the lies. It's like, I'm so sick. It's disgusting. Like, it is really disgusting.
Threat, connectivity to violence. And what this working group does, is precisely what I would think you would want it to do, which is to take a look at the disinformation work that our department has done and ask the following questions. Do we have policies? Do we have guardrails? Do we have standards?
But here's the problem. We can't even agree. We can't even agree what disinformation is. You can't even agree that it was disinformation, that the Russians fed information to the Steele dossier. If you can't agree to that, how are we ever going to come to an agreement on what is disinformation so you can police it on social media?
Senator, I have 2 points, if I may finish. Number one, that what this working group does is...
It's sick. It's sick. Understand. Disinformation means lying. And this guy is over the Department of Justice, and he's supposed to be, governing, disinformation. But that's all they do is lie. Anyone calling us black, disinformation. Anyone saying we come from slavery, disinformation. Anyone saying we coming from Africa, disinformation. We are the American people. This is our land. And it's a lie. It's disinformation to say anything else. But they use 1866 black codes all day, every day since 1866. They use the 14th Amendment artificial person all day. It's disinformation. They say that you're these names on these birth certificates and you're really not. Those are really corporations. Disinformation. You see what I'm saying? They thrive on that. The only way that they can survive is if you believe their lies. That's the only way they can survive, is if you believe their lies. They are liars. That's what they do. That's the whole purpose of them creating the First Amendment. To lie. You see, here's the thing. You can lie all you want. But you see, once you put people out there with guns and start killing people for your lies, that's when the treason and genocide kicks in. And they've been committing treason and genocide against the American people, the people you call black and African American, since 1866 black codes, since they created 1866 black codes, color codes. And not only are they doing it to us, they're doing it to their own. That's what makes it even worse. For a group of bankers, for some promissory notes. They're doing it for money. They're committing genocide and treason for money. Yes, whether you know it or not, follow the money. They're greedy, treasonous animals. Disinformation. That's all they do.
It's not an office. What this working group does is ensure that there are guardrails, definitions, standards to make sure that the free speech rights, the civil rights, civil liberties, and privacy rights of individuals are not impinged.
Do you think COVID?
But you notice, they never talk about human rights. They never, ever talk about human rights. No one cares about civil rights. What about our human rights under the Geneva Convention? What about that? Huh? What about our human rights? What about the Geneva Convention? What about that? Because we don't care about civil rights. We want our human rights. Period.
Do you think COVID disinformation threatens our national security?
And number two, if I may, Senator, and number two, is it your proposition that when the cartels spread disinformation with respect to our immigration policies to try to lure vulnerable migrants to our border illegally?
I think you've got no idea what disinformation is, and I don't think the government's capable of it. Do you know who the greatest propagator of disinformation in the history of the world is? The U.S. government.